All right. Peace, and blessings. Haki Ami here, the success scholar, the Honorable One, the Sapo, Dr. Haki Shakur Ami, the success scholar. Man, let me come on in here and let me just share some insights. I've been realizing I need to perhaps step up my content creation and, I realized that although I have done like a significant amount of radio, like when online just started with Harambe Radio and reached a lot of people, and uh, you know, co-authored the book, and then I did like significant amount of YouTube videos as well as when I did some things with eLife Media. I realized that you have to continue to create new and new content, but sometimes I'm feeling like I don't need to keep on, talking to the same people over and over and over. And so, but I ultimately, I'm beginning to realize that progress is being made substantially. And so, I continue to reach for new audiences. And so, let me have this discussion with you all. And I'm definitely going to keep playing this until everybody sees it. I'm going to keep playing it on my Facebook. And you all can follow me. I want to encourage you all to share, like, and subscribe to my Raising Consciousness and Capital page, as well as the Haki Shakur Ami pages on LinkedIn, actually, as well as on Facebook, Haki Shakur Ami on LinkedIn, as well as my Harambe Books page. I believe I'm streaming from there. But so let me just share. Sometimes when people don't support you, you may feel like a certain way. And here's what I realized, and I've had to become wiser, right? I want to be mature. I want to be responsible. I want to, just have a level of reasonableness in terms of what people's priorities should be. And this is what leadership represents. And this is what leaders truly do. But recently there's been a lot of discussion about boycotting, black on black boycotts. FBA versus the African community, the Caribbean community, the Pan-Africanist community. I mean, I've sort of seen it and heard it all. And so, and let me just say, sometimes what's happening, for instance, with many of those online, many people are struggling actually economically. And I've been sort of blessed. I mean, having a halfway decent family and just working a position, a very a decent position, to be in a position to sort of expand my network and expand the movement forward over the past 2 decades, and certainly throughout. And so now it's like, okay, where do I go from here? Where should I be looking at in terms of, continuing to progress, continue to heal, continue to teach? And so I've been, doing a little soul searching even the past few days. And many have seen my previous few videos, somebody perhaps took offense to something. And so I wanted to just explain some things that, even as a man, sometimes, I think about historically, how people had to do things for survival, right? I think about during traumatic times or stress, or where communities are in need, or individuals are in need, where individuals aren't able to provide for themselves and get food. How desperation affects human psychology, how individuals who, for instance, aren't able to maintain a level of sustenance, where individuals aren't able to hunt properly as men. So sometimes what's happening is men, black men, certainly in this society, some learn, for instance, outside of their skills and talents to be able to bring resources. Many, for instance, become um, divisive, right? They that's their tactic. They have a psychological need to be affirmed, right? Because unfortunately, manhood has been based upon one's ability to produce and provide and wealth, and flexing on some levels. And contemporarily, many individuals, some people fall in line, some people fall in line with different individuals for different reasons, and they join different cliques and crews for different reasons. And I have been through a lot of different organizations and movements, and really showed up and tried to align myself in different spaces, right, as well as continue to be in service to the community, be in service to the people in this community. And let me just be clear. I come from Baltimore, right? Born and raised, and it wasn't like I had a whole lot, but I didn't starve, right? I didn't starve. Fortunately, I had some halfway decent parents, and I was wise enough to graduate and go right into the United States Navy. Got out and tried to do some entrepreneurial things. And let me tell you, after I got out, I came back, thought I was going to be a super conscious African, super conscious entrepreneur. And I attempted to do various types of business things over that time. And, what I saw, for instance, and, I've seen this for decades, and I realized that we may not have, for instance, enough money. We may not have enough revenue to support everybody. But there comes a time, for instance, that some of us deserve, some support, right? We've earned, particular stripes. Now, I've been under the opinion that I've earned some particular stripes, right? And, I cannot take lack of support from some people, right? And so, here's the thing. The question becomes, why not? Now, some people are doing it because they know they would love to be in your position, right? They would love to, I don't know what they consider, success is, but they would love to get interviews and be on people's radio shows. And I've been on a few. I've spoke, at a few different places over the years, and been on some live streams with some pretty prominent international panels. And my organization, some of the organizations that I'm affiliated with have put me in a strategic position over time. And here's the thing. Do I look like I'm, let me see something. Do I look like let me write this again. Maybe it's okay. Why does this look like this? Okay, maybe all right, so I've been in various types of positions over the years to really step up. I don't know why this looks like this. See something. Let me do a solo layout. Oh, man, let me see something here. Let me use another. Let me use this other camera. Okay, let me just roll with this. Let me roll with this. That looks a little better. I think this might be getting old. So, so here's the thing. continuing to build and organize and continue to grow. I've reached a point where, you know, after you do certain things over time, it's like you know that you've paid a certain level of dues, right? And you know that you should be sort of on, like next in line, right? Or you should be recognized for your contributions, for your wisdom, for your experiences, right? Now, I know there's age sets, there's pecking orders, if you will. Who is going to be the who going to carry the baton? Now, I've been blessed to on some levels have a few different significant global thinkers to pass me. Well, maybe they don't acknowledge it, but I'm not asking for anyone to give me a baton. I'm gonna simply continue to earn my stripes the right way. And let me make sure my sound is good. Am I live here? Okay, I think I am. Mic check, hold on. Mic check. Okay. All right, let me turn this down. I'll turn it off here. So earning your stripes and, having people acknowledge your worth is a human nature, it's a human desire that many of us have. And so here's what I've reached in my evolution. And, whether people are going to give me the attributes that I'm deserving, I'm saying I am asserting my intellectual skills, my intellectual depth, my intellectual knowledge, as well as my resume and track record, right? And fortunately for me, I have such a diverse network that I've been exposed to that, I know what other people are doing and how I need to move, right? How I need to move to elevate myself so that I'm not wasting my time being undervalued. And not that everything necessarily has a capitalist solution for me to just continue to promote everything like everything has to have a dollar value in terms of my time, but certainly the social capital needs a level of respect placed upon it. And so when I say things, for instance, about going to Africa and, the work that I've done, for the global African community, not just here, in the United States, but also in Africa, but also the cultural conscious people. I mean, from the hundreds of books that I've sold to dozens and hundreds of people, not just, the books that I've read, the speaking engagements that I've done, going into the schools, of course, saving lives in the city, and, connecting to individuals in the D.C. area as well as Prince George's County area. I mean, participating in various Kwanzaa events and certainly I dare say yes, influencing in cadres of individuals to actually go to Africa, right? Yes. And so a few dozen of people would not have gone if they didn't see me go. And so I'm owning that, I'm claiming that. And so let me just give an analysis. I wanted to be clear, for instance, because some people, I realize, here's my thing, like, there are Africans here in America, and I'm here in America, and just because you go to Africa doesn't mean that you are more, doing more for the people. But certainly I wanted to add that yes, there have been some people that have gone to Africa because of me. Yes, and the partners that I have. And so let me just be clear again. At this particular stage, I've sort of shifted in the last few weeks and the last few months to truly just be on another level where there's no turning back for me. There's no turning back in terms of how I grow, how I succeed. I'm just going to have to execute properly and execute with my money to ensure that I am, in these spaces, that I am maintaining a level of perfection, of having my image protected, right? And so when people, for instance, and let me just share, sometimes I've been humble, enough to not, support people, but, eventually you pay your dues, right? And sometimes, like we said, in these capitalist-minded survival dynamics that people have, people actually want to compete with you. Black men competing for resources, competing to get women, because they want attention of some types of cultural women. I've seen it all. And fortunately for me, I've been extremely blessed to overcome any challenges that I may have had, in terms of lack of confidence and feeling that somehow I wasn't enough, and I wasn't achieving enough. I didn't look decent, whatever that means. I don't, so if what do they say, Rick Ross and what's the other one? Not Big Daddy Kane, Puffy, no, not Puffy, Biggie Smalls, like, they got fine women. I ain't trying to say I'm multimillionaire, but I mean, in terms of male-female relationships, I mean, and not that, I'm going to be egocentric about that, but, generally speaking, I'm quite deserving of some pretty, well-rounded sisters. So that's kind of the standard that I have for myself, and I'm not going to ever continue to minimize that. And this is where, me being in a position to teach and to share and to encourage individuals to step up. I mean, we gotta grind. We have to work hard. We have to hunt. We have to be productive in this society, right? And so this is what, couples do, like, in this world, not be, super materialistic and just, greedy for no reason, to be vain. We have to build something. We have to produce something. We have to own, right? And so this is where financial literacy, financial education comes in, but also the power is in your network. And so this is why, for instance, I mean, and yes, and let me just make this plain. I know I co-authored a book with Les Brown and George Frazier, and the thing is, well, what have you done lately? Well, yes, I've been writing for the National Black Unity newspaper for the past 5 years now, and so people can hear and read. If people are still reading, I don't know, but I mean, look, here's the thing. If you're like me, when you read 100 books a year for 11 years, and you get invited to the places that I do, I mean, like how I am now, and fortunately, I'm able to go tomorrow to meet with the Governor Westmore. Yes, I'm starting to feel like I'm deserving to be on another level, right? So I have to make that happen. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be around people that value those things. And sometimes, these Pan-Africanists, or people who refer to themselves as Pan-Africanists, they aren't very well-rounded and astute enough to appreciate, the conscious Amos Wilson level moves that, that I've been able to make, right? Yes, I consider myself finishing the work of Dr. Amos Wilson. I've read Dr. Claude Anderson's work. I've read Rudy's work and Kamal Kimbone, many of the true scholars, thinkers, builders, right? And so here's the thing. And I know, I mean, it's easy to say, oh, Haki got there because of his partners or however. I mean, and you know, just want to take swaps and swap. Um, However, but I mean, yes, absolutely. You have to build the right team. You have to build the right team around you. They have to have wisdom. They have to have exposure and experiences, right? They have to have some hustle in them, right? They have to read the right books and show up and be respected in this world, right? And so now I'm to the point where I'm just like, look, and it's happened before. Things have happened a few times where, you know, I mean, I'm not going to overstep, you know, my boundaries, and you know, but here's the thing: I consider it like a boycott, and even some years ago, and this just showed me the mindset of people, right? Somebody actually said that we should boycott hockey, right? I mean, someone from Baltimore, and so I realized then, if you are that like angry, if you have that mentality that you gonna boycott your own people, right? You will put it out there as if, for instance, now here's the thing, like that's like I just think about it. I just think about it how that actually looks. So if I'm like poor and starving, you would like let me starve. You would let me starve. I wouldn't be like a human. I wouldn't be a developed man, for instance, if I just sat around and waited for somebody to feed me, right? And so now what's happening, and this is where, you know, crime comes into play, and the criminal mindset. Unfortunately, many of us, and it may not be a crime per se, you know, unfortunately, we live in a society that will allow for people to be homeless, that allow for people to be, you know, poor and unfed. But when people, I've never seen these things before. When people encourage someone to boycott individuals, that's like serious. Like that's serious rage. And so you had, for instance, like some FBA individuals, you know, people I'm from America, if you will, I'm from Baltimore, that wanted to boycott Africans, continental Africans. And, you know, you have, for instance, Pan-Africanists that, although they may not say they want to boycott individuals, they put out hostile messages, right, to almost like encourage people to boycott. So let me just say this. I wouldn't be a man if I just would allow for anybody to just devalue myself and my movement. So my thing is, if, for instance, suppose I was relying on people, suppose I was relying on some type of hand-to-mouth type of, for somebody to buy something, or somebody to pay me to do A, B, and C, and I wasn't able to do that because somebody influenced them to say, nah, we're not gonna let that brother do that. You know, I would be, that's like a boy, right? That's a boy. So here's the thing. I must be skilled enough, talented enough, researched enough, have enough money and enough partners, people that respect. Oh, my connection. Oh, all right. People asking me about the CBC. Yeah, shout out to Aaliyah. So I wouldn't be a man if I would allow for myself to just go unfed and not to take care of my responsibilities, right? And so fortunately, I've been given some skills and talents, and I want to raise my talents. I want to raise my attributes, if you will, my networks, and ensure that those around me are certainly able to grow economically. And so this is why, I've been getting a lot of unique invites, a lot of unique opportunities. And so I'm going to raise it up to another level, and I'm cutting everybody off. Everybody that that's not wise enough to, come to me and, say something dumb out their mouth. Like, look, I got to go. I got to get free. I ain't putting you down, but I'm simply saying that if you're not necessarily wise enough to build alliances, if you're not wise enough to build the right alliances with me and to have the emotional maturity, you're going to fall behind. You're going to fall behind, and eventually, especially if you're older, I'm moving forward, like quickly, rapidly, strategically, and I'm building some powerful allies. Right? And I know it's just happening. I have some powerful allies, and I've had them before. Some came and fell off, and some will come and fell off. But ultimately, I have my own power and influence. And so, fortunately, over the next few weeks and next few months, much progress is going to be made. So I'm looking forward to several events that are going to be coming up. The Diaspora Day on the Hill, the CBC weekend in D.C. So there's going to be some amazing events, and of course the Maryland, Black Caucus event. And I've been fortunate enough, for instance, to go to the White House with the Maryland Black Caucus Foundation and the Maryland Black Caucus, the largest Black caucus in the country. So here's the thing, and let me just say this. It's been on my mind too, even in these political spaces. Like, I've done, yes, me, let me just be clear. And, the last one, I'll take full accountability and claim for what we just did with the Gullah Geechee tour. That was huge. Like, I pulled it off. We pulled it off. And not that I point at individual things, because I do things that I'm not able to be full time, service to the community or whatever. Not everything, pays what you need to eat and have food and shelter. So you have to manage your operations. But, ultimately educating, our seniors, our elders within the community is something I take pride in. And we've targeted some programs towards these things, and as well as taking people throughout different parts of the world, certainly in the Freedom Rides and the Civil Rights Tour, but as well as doing things certainly in the Park Heights area. And I believe that I'm to the point now, I'm taking off my cape. Like, I'm taking off my cape, and I'm showing up saying, look, and this is even like some of these political spaces. Like, look, I don't have time for your cults. I don't have time for your Pan-African cults. I don't have time for your political cults, groupie, follower people. Like, look, many of these people, they haven't lifted a finger to help me, and they did what they had to do for the community. But I'm just saying, like, look, no, I'm not just going to be doing, petty door knocking or whatever. Like, I don't, I mean, you know how many books I read? Do you really know how many books I read? Do you know who I know, who I showed up for? King of Bakersfield. What's up? Peace, King. Oh, Queen. King. Yeah. So, no, I don't, I don't have time anymore to do that, and I don't need to be in anybody's newspapers. Just serving. I do the work. I'm connected to enough things, and fortunately, over the next few weeks, I'm just gonna go to another level. I'm gonna blast off to another level. All right? Thanks, brother. I'm gonna blast off to another level, right? And I'm not turning back. I'm not, gonna undervalue myself. And people that barely speak, the people that barely speak out. I mean, I'm sorry. Even though I come to some people's event, like I went somewhere and the brother didn't even speak to me. I'm like, damn, what's up with that? I don't know what's up with that. But I'm like, man, you know me. I mean, you've been knowing me long enough. Like, what's the deal? Like, oh man. So anyway, people be on some, some type their own little ego thing. And here's the thing with me, y'all. Look, if you come from where I come from and be where I am, you're extraordinary. See, some of these people who, they were like a little above average, and they doing some amazing things. But watch where I end up. Watch where I end up. How focused I am. You know how focused I am, and the team that I built. I build and alliances that I create. God willing, I'm healthy enough to survive. But peace, King. All right, Minister. Love you, brother. Love you, brother. Peace and blessings, brother. But when I continue to raise up, and let me give a shout out to the brother. He allowed for me to do my birthday event at his spot over east. So I appreciate the brother, Minister T-Nat. Thank you, brother. Love all of you all, my East Side family. So here's the thing. This is where I'm at. And fortunately for me, y'all, I mean, it's cool to do these things and to talk to people, but this is not where it's at, yo. Let me just be real. The real work is in the community, is with the people who don't even have, hell, some people don't even have access to internets, right? I mean, some people, people just need a kind, friendly face before we can teach them, who they are, what they are. But one thing I will not do is allow for, or encourage or accept us boycotting each other, right? And so I'm simply saying, and fortunately for me, I don't never want to be in a position where I am, begging, that I'm begging for support, like I'm literally needing people to feed me. Like that's not a man, and that's not community, right? And so we need, and I've supported many people, many dozens, hundreds in different ways, and some of the organizations that I've been affiliated with. And no, I'm not like prominent, for instance, in these political spaces, but fortunately, I've been able to get a good foundation rather recently, and now the track record is there to excel on different levels. And so this is why I continue to show up in these unique spaces to create the right allies, to claim your your reparations, your internal reparations, your what you need for your community, right? And so this is where I'm at now. And so fortunately tomorrow, big day tomorrow, big day where meeting with the governor, with some folks. I'll talk more about that. I want to make sure this meeting happens, but it's scheduled. It's scheduled officially, and so good role there, and it's kind of cool and a blessing that I'm at the table, right? This is some things, and there could be other people at the table, but certainly realizing, and I don't want to get caught into how people are feeling about the governor right now, whether they because of the Trump issues, or how the reparations thing went. Look, I'm gonna be bigger than some of y'all's politics. I'm gonna be bigger than token little voting who's in what particular office. Those things have limits. And I don't want to get confused. And when I told somebody like sent a smiley face as though, and wanted to have discussions about Westmore, and I'm like, man, look, I can't solve everything. I'm not going to pretend, and I don't speak for Westmore at all. Thank you for you're welcome. I don't speak for Westmore, and sometimes people want to put me like I'm so big like I'm his BFF, I'm his spokesperson. Like, man, come on. People do that. I mean, just it's silly first and foremost, but people do that because they want to pull from various like segments of our community. They want to pull from now some folks are doing this to eat. They doing this to survive. They want to pull from the right, white, and even the angry blacks who, for instance, may feel the Democrats aren't, black Democrats involved. Let me tell y'all, it's so crazy. I heard a woman on the radio today. I was like, damn, we done lost our damn mind. She said this now, let me, in 20 something years I've been listening to black radio. This woman, y'all like my piece? Thanks. Yeah, I'm matching. They almost match the colors. This woman said, I'm sick of them black elected officials. I'm voting for everything white up and down the ballot. I was like, wow, she's saying this on black radio. She's saying she should have got hung up. She should have got hung up the phone. They should have hung up the damn phone on her. Like, what kind of self-hating slave? What kind of self-hating slave would say they vote for everyone white? Not even like some people, have a little diplomacy with it. They say, we need to look at, the issues versus the skin, or some progressive individuals are better, but she just said that she voted for everything white. And this is why I had to, it made me think about, the isms and schisms and, the fragments of, the popular opinion that different people have within the communities and how sometimes, people need to keep their opinions to themselves. If they not empowering, right? If they don't have nothing to enhance our community. And this is why I feel that I have some things to enhance the community. Not just, here, for instance, but building the global African networks, right? The Mandela Fellows. And, when I don't have time and I don't know who need to hear it, I'm not saying everybody need to be on board with this, or I'm just simply saying I've got some experiences from, meeting people at the Maryland spaces and the congressional spaces, from the UN, going to New York for United Nations, and even partnering the people that I know that went to Geneva, to the UN, and individuals who, have gone to the African Union like I've gone, but also the African black audiences that are here, right? And I even listen to some FBA. I never see them anywhere, but, I listen. Some may have some unique analysis that I can use to how I grow. And since, I've been able to connect to some very, very prominent diasporan Africans who are now living here. I mean, to say the Nigerians and Ghanaians that are here. These are my brothers and sisters like that I work with. They show up, for different things. I mean, we're not. It's not like you ain't married to people like that, but you can. They show up for you at particular times, and we need black people here. We are going to have to begin to show up for each other, like and put these little categories that many people have, away, and just come together under some unique principles, like working, like being clean, being holistic, reading, educating ourselves, just becoming civic minded, protecting our community, being, taking care of our elders, our seniors. These are some principles, and, we talk about them during Kwanzaa. Many people, and, you don't see people after Kwanzaa. I've been partnering and, going to clean give away the food for the past year, at least. And, I post on it and text people. And, I'm not trying to say that that's what scholars or we all should be doing, but we have to not be so separated and so intellectually, and it's good exercise too. So, I always try to put that on people like, look, I'm going to lift some boxes. Let's lift some boxes, y'all. We're going to, once a month, man, once a month. Let's lift some boxes, put them in the car. Let's connect to people so they can see men out in the community. I appreciate the brothers that, and sisters and elders that, the young people that have been coming for the past few years, but certainly since I've been, participating. So I'm starting to feel that, making different types of progress, different types of headway. And I don't want to get distracted, for instance, by politics. I don't want to get too distracted by, the Pan-African versus the African, the Pan-African versus ADOS debates. I work with who willing to show up. Like if the woman who want to vote for all the white people, I'm like, look, I called in on Carl Nelson show. I said, tell them, just come on and help, be in the community, walk the community. Let's give out some resources during Community Day. Like, if you want to do that, just vote for whoever you want to vote for, but you still show up. Like, I'm not here to talk to you about that. I'm not here to debate your politics right now. We have people to save, people that need some basic necessities out here, right? And we have to build intellectually, economically. We have to own something. So I'm focused now, where I'm at in life. I don't want to end up as, and I've said this and I've made it plain to everybody in my space, like there's no way, and I've prepared myself over the past 2, 3, 4 years to say I'm not ending up without anything, without owning some land, house, and nothing is guaranteed. Nothing is guaranteed, in this world, but your mind, your wisdom, your ability to predict the future and what's happening. This is why staying, getting the pulse of the people, getting the pulse of what's going on in your community. This is why I connected. I got the Citizen apps, the Nextdoor app. Oh, Adrian Abafo. Let me see if he can make it. Damn, did he say he gonna make it? All right, I don't know. All right, do you see them more? Oh no, okay. All right, people be texting me, blowing my phone up, but this is why I stay connected to what's going on in the community, and this is why what I need for Pan-Africanists that I know in and around the community. I'm like, if I need some ADOS people that want to show up. Like, look, just leave that at home. Leave, I don't need to talk to you about that. Like, I don't need your flag right now. I just need you to be productive, like teaching our young people, right? I mean, and we did some things in Park Heights, and unfortunately this summer we weren't able to, but that could have been the beginning of something powerful. We got it popping last summer with the Mandela Fellows in town. It was right around the time that the young, Baltimore City youth, the youth program, the summer youth program was on. So we had them for like 6 weeks, 4 weeks, 4 or 5 weeks. And I would have loved to have done it again, but, we weren't able to due to time restraints. We weren't not able to, but we're gonna get it going again. And so, fortunately for me, I truly have some strong networks that are happening that are making things happen. And I'm gonna put my money where my mouth is. That's right. You got to put your money where your mouth is, and you have to continue to show up and continue to make things happen. But here's what one thing, we need democratic, a democratic balanced approach to leadership. We can't have, I mean, and I have to assert myself now because unfortunately, people want to restrict you, restrict your voice, restrict your knowledge. And I'm like, man, I can't, I can't have you. Some of these experiences are just too valuable. I mean, and I don't know how you quantify the value, but I'm simply saying, look, here is my one value. I had some Mandela Fellows. These are some of the most brilliant Africans on the planet. We institutionally, collectively, should be reaching out to some of them for something. Now, I know, and I'll give you this example. Some people don't want to listen to me. I mean, it's different reasons, but I'll give you an example. I went to a reparations thing in D.C., and I flew to another one in D.C. I'm sorry, in Atlanta. I don't go to Atlanta much, but I went to that. I think I went to something else too, sustainability conference thing. And I thought I had my Ethiopian flyers. I just knew that some of these, black American Afro descendants, whatever, would want to go to the African Union when Donald Trump was elected. I asked another organization out of New York, let's do it. But they wanted to do something at the Congressional Black Caucus or something, Trump 100 days. I'm like, it's all good, it's all good. But here's the thing. When I know I have some brilliant ideas, I'm going to put them out there, whoever responds. But, honestly, if I just need to work inside my community, work in the surrounding area, I'm like, look, I don't know if I would make it back to Africa. I'm hoping that I will, hoping that more people will be inspired, but I can sell it on some levels, because I've been a few times, and let me just, for the record, for point of clarity, many people thought that I've been to Africa, way before I actually went. Now, there's a reason why I did not, because I wanted to be tactful. I just didn't want to keep going where everybody else has been. So the opportunity, well, first, when Donald Trump got elected the first time, 2020, I was just like, wow, this is deep. This is deep. So the opportunity to go to Tanzania, which was the only country that was open, and we actually had a conference scheduled to go to Tanzania, interestingly. And so it was almost like a perfect storm, if you will. And what we did was we opened like a gate, because we were perhaps, it was like 10, 12 people, but we made a tremendous impact by going. Got some media, we don't go like as regular tourists. Fortunately, some of the partners that we've had have been very connected, shall I say there. And so we just didn't go as some regular tourists. Now, I went there because, yes, my name is Haki Shakur, right? Haki means justice in Swahili. And it was just a perfect opportunity for me to go. And yes, perhaps I could have went before, but, I just didn't want to go like regular, with regular people and do regular things. So fortunately, I was in a very, very strategic, prominent position when I went and met some pretty good people that when I was there, not just some tourists. So it was a big deal to be present there. And so for those thinking, that somebody maybe or pay for me to go or something, or, it's nice if you have good friends like that, good people. Yes, I'm still waiting for good people like that just want to take care of me and take me to Africa or something like that. So in case anybody says anything like that. But, fortunately for me, being gainfully employed, that I am, I count my blessings. I stay entrepreneurial, but, sometimes you have to get the right talents, the right skills, and the right mix and the right timing around you and the people, right? To make things happen where you're totally free, totally independent, because everybody reports to somebody. Whether you have a job, whether you know have clients or services or a product, you're reporting to someone. Nobody's in an island by themselves. Like, I'm independent. I'm gonna do what I want when I want. Unless you Umar Johnson or something. Like, he's the Prince of Pan Africanism. He don't answer to nobody ever. So so all right, y'all. I'm coming up. It's close to an hour. So again, I'm heading to tomorrow, and then this Thursday, if you are around, if anybody's in the Baltimore area, Baltimore City, Baltimore County, consider joining us in the Marriott in Owings Mills. Julian Jones running for county executive. Yeah, that's another unique opportunity. Once he is the county executive, that will be a tremendous experience that some of us should, sort of come together and, organize to, create opportunities for seniors and our young people and all the community in Baltimore County. And certainly a shout out to my Woodlawn community, where I went to Woodlawn High for a few, so I know some good people there. But Julian Jones is the man out there, and he's doing some amazing things. And he went, I saw him. We were at the circus. Yes, for those that enjoy the circus, please take your children. Take your children. You're not that African-centered. And to those that are angry about the circus, as I heard one person, like, y'all going to the circus, man, he's a Baltimore brother. He had a traumatic, background, but just look at the amazing things that he done, how many smiles that he can put on our children's face. Some of our young people, they don't have the opportunities to experience this, so let them experience the circus while you go and take your daughter to Taylor Swift concerts. So, yeah, so that's all I want to say, y'all. Hope you all are well. Haki Ami, the Success Scholar. Do follow me, Success Scholar. You can Google Haki Shakur Ami or Google the Success Scholar. Do like, subscribe, and share. Progress is being made. Let's see. J. Wendell Gordon has something this weekend as well on Saturday down in Prince George's County. And another sister is running for Congress. I'll be there in Laurel. So she called me and invited me. So I'm not going to. As much as I have to be in Bowie, and then, Laurel, then Bowie, but that's going to be my Saturday, y'all. So I'm blessed to have, a unique set of powerful individuals that, I try to keep in connected to, and people always asking me for money. So, like, I got it like that, but it's coming, y'all. It's coming. I'm making some things happen, and I work hard. I work long if I need to. So, all right, y'all. Peace and blessings. Haki Shakur Ami, the Success Scholar. Dr. Haki Shakur Ami. One more thing. Friday, I'm co-hosting a broadcast at 2 p.m. on WOL. That's Dr. Stephanie's show. I'll have the chair of the Associated Black Charities. And Associated Black Charities, they just recently had like a... collectivity. There was a community fundraiser. They were like the 6th or 7th. They think they raised like $250,000. No, $25,000. I'm adding zeros. $25,000. They were part of that fundraising community that raised that money as well. Oh, I'm going to New York next month as well. The wearables, Afrotech, or wearable tech, they got some money too from that collective fundraising thing. And so, yeah, they were, both of them were in the top 10. So those are my peoples. Yeah. So I'm just saying, see, sometimes, when people ignore you, you just kind of align yourself with the right people, and you step up your education, you step up your knowledge, and in case one person, can't, produce for you, or organization wants to say no, I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I'll find some appreciative, grateful people. See, and this is the beautiful thing. See, when I show up on scene, y'all, I read so many books that I'm just impressive. I'm just impressive because sometimes I got to go back into my Rolodex of books, and the sister from the Afro Wearables or the Wearable Tech, I was just like giving us some knowledge, just like that. She was just like, wow. So she invited me to this conference in New York, and I'm gonna go. So yeah. So I'm just saying, having a diverse knowledge and diverse background, it helps me to expand, right? And I know some people want to put me in a category and say you know, people look at your name and think they don't know what to think. Like, you African, you Muslim, where you from, where your people, man. People be like, where your people's from? I'll be like, nah, I'm from Baltimore. I changed my name. Yeah, I changed my name. Yes. So, yeah. So, um, and actually, one of the newspapers in Tanzania did a story on me. It's a good story to read. So yes, so I don't when I go to Tanzania, it's not just like being regular. So so that's all I have. We coming up on my 1 hour. I said I was going to do a 1 hour broadcast, but um, I'm excited to meet with Governor Westmore tomorrow. So this. I mean, he knows me from different spaces, and I know he's under a lot right now with Trump telling him that he's going to cut the funds to the bridge. Like, because you got a problem. I mean, I didn't know that people did things like that. I don't, and didn't say it publicly. That's the thing. President Trump is saying publicly that he's going to punish Maryland residents on an infrastructure incident. Like, how? And that's so immature. That's so immature. I mean, I probably wouldn't have said the thing about the bone spurs if I was, talking about Westmore. I'm sorry, talking about President Trump, because that's kind of like, I don't know if it's, maybe he was just joking them anyway, because a lot of individuals say that to avoid the war, avoid going to war, and they get doctors to say they got some. But for him to say that he's going to punish Maryland, that's a challenge. That's. But that just lets you know. That lets you know. And I'm not going to say. I don't know if he said anything like he didn't say that to. I don't know if he's talked like that to other other states. So I'm really, and I called in the Dr. Taylor. James Taylor was on the radio today. He's brilliant. Check out Professor James Taylor. I'm sure he might have some interviews. You may have to type in Carl Nelson, Professor James Taylor. Brilliant. One of the most brilliant political black conscious minds ever. Like, truly, he can spout off like a lot of things. Like, and he's doing a book on the Jamestown. What was that pastor over in Oakland, the one that with the Kool-Aid thing. So he's doing a book, and he just sent it to the printer recently. But Professor James Taylor is his name. But definitely Google him. If you are a black conscious political person, please consider listening to him. He drops some jewels, man. He can go like off the top with a lot of things, man. I just feel like, wow, off the top. He's one of the most brilliant political, informed individuals out here, man. He can drop every time he comes on. I'm just like, I'm stopping what I'm doing to listen to what he's talking about, because he's so conscious and so brilliant and mature with his analysis. He's not like, how some people, he called out the black Trumps, the black MAGAs today. And I called in and I mentioned something about some of the black MAGAs, because, one more book. And I'm almost finished reading this. Clay Clay Kane. Yes, Clay Kane. The Grift. The book is called The Grift: The Rise of the Black Conservative from Lincoln, the age of Lincoln, from the time of Lincoln to the cult of Trump. The Grift. So it's a very the rise of black republicanism or something like that, or it's called The Grift. Clay Kane. So definitely check that out in it. That's on Audible as well. So here's the thing, y'all. Progress is being made. I'm ready to move forward very rapidly, building my allies, ready to go to another level. Thank you for your time. Oh, yeah, that's 1 hour exactly. It just timed me out. I just heard it. So we out, y'all. Peace and blessings. Stay connected. I'll do some more. I'll let y'all know how this thing with Westmore goes tomorrow, and we'll keep it moving forward. Peace and blessings.